Hello students. Today we are taking one new chapter of cell biology, that is cell cycle and cell division. Let us go for the details of this chapter. If you take the introduction part of the cell cycle and cell division, there is one scientist, his name is Rudolf Virchow. This Rudolf Virchow, in the year 1958, he proposed a theory called cell lineage theory, which is also called as cell inheritance theory. In this theory, he stated new cells are formed by the division of the early existing cells. That means if the new cells are forming, they are formed by the division of already existing cells. That is the meaning of this statement. But one thing you need to understand, Rodolphe Virchow, in his cell lineage theory, he did not give this English statement. He described this statement in Greek in omnis cellulae cellula. That means this actually it is a Greek statement. When you translate it, you are getting the meaning new cells are formed by the division of the pre-existing cells, which actually stated by Rodolphe Virchow as omnis cellulae cellula. This is a statement given by Rodolphe Virchow. Hope you understand. Whereas after Rodolphe Virchow, there is one more scientist, his name is Strasburger, suggested nuclei are formed from the pre-existing nucleus. That means the early nucleus, it is undergoing division to produce two new or daughter nuclei. So that is the meaning of this statement. And he is the one who discovered this meiosis process. That means the process of the meiosis was given by Strasburger. Students, please understand, it is not veg burger, it is Strasburger. Okay, now he he is the one who gave the words prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Hope you understood the significance or the contribution of Strasburger. But he discovered this meiosis process. But the name meiosis was given by two scientists. Their names are Farmer and also Moore. Process was described by Strasburger, but name was given by Farmer and Moore. This is a important statement what you need to understand. And after Strasburger, there is one more scientist. His name is Walter Fleming. Simply you will call it as Fleming. Fleming, he studied mitotic divisions. Students, you need to understand divisions are of actually three types: amitosis, mitosis, and also meiosis. Meiosis was described by Strasburger, whereas Walter Fleming, you can also call him as Fleming. Fleming, he described mitosis in salamander. Hope you understood. Whereas amitosis was explained by Remark. Of course, definitely I am going to explain all these divisions in a very elaborate and detailed manner. Now, this is just introduction. Hope you understood. Rudolf Virchow, in his cell lineage theory, he stated that new cells are formed by the division of the pre-existing cells, and Strasburger suggested nuclei, that means two daughter nuclei are formed by the division of the early existing nucleus, whereas he is the one who discovered and also described the process of meiosis, and he is the one who gave the proper terminology, proper terms called as prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. These terms were suggested by Strasburger, though he is the one who described this meiosis, but name meiosis was given by Farmer and Moore, whereas the next scientist is Walter Fleming. He described this mitosis process in salamander. Okay, whereas there is one hormone, its name is cytokinin, which greatly promotes the rate of the cell division. Let us go for the details. The next one is types of cell divisions. there are three types of cell divisions. The first one is amitosis, and the second one is mitosis, and the third one is meiosis. But today's class I will explain only amitosis and some part of the interphase. What is interphase? I'll just let you know. But because it's actually they are lengthy process, that's why I can't be able to complete all the three divisions at once. That's why today's part is amitosis and interphase. What is interphase? Just wait, I will explain. Yes, let's take the first type of division, very primitive and simplest type of the cell division, that is nothing but amitosis. As I previously mentioned so clearly, this is the cell division which was described by Remark. Remark is a scientist who first of all described this amitosis process, and it is a very simple type of cell division. Very simple. See how the at the time of division, the division starts with elongation of nucleus. For your understanding, I brought the images also. This is a cell which consisting of this nucleus. Now the nucleus, it starts elongating. See, did you notice it started elongating? And then this nucleus, it becomes dumbbell shaped. Dumbbell shape means dumbbell means the one who has habit of going to this gym and do workouts, they know a dumbbell, it is a kind of what I call device which is used for workouts. So there's a dumbbell shape, so it becomes a dumbbell shaped. See how it became dumbbell shaped, and it slowly, eventually it becomes, or it cuts off to form two daughter nucleus, two daughter nuclei to be frank. So this is one and this is one, but these two daughter nuclei are formed by the division of the early existing nucleus. And then this nucleus division, whenever it gets completed, this cytoplasm also starts developing a deep constriction. Did you see? And here you can see this word also, constriction. So this constriction, it appears on both the sides of the cell, and this constriction deepens, still more deepens, and then it cuts finally the cell into two. So this is how two daughter cells are formed. Such a simplest division is amitosis. That's why this amitosis can't be exhibited by all the living organisms. This is a very important point you need to understand. Very primitive type of organisms like yeasts, paramecium, amoeba, etc. Only this type of organisms, they exhibit such a very simplest type of cell division called amitosis. Again, I am giving a very short recap. Cell which consisting of nucleus. This nucleus, it starts elongating and it becomes a dumbbell shaped. After that, it cuts off to form two daughter nuclei. Once two daughter nuclei are formed, a small constriction it appear in the middle of the cell, and it deepens and cuts the cell into two daughter cells. So this is how the amitosis division takes place. Where what is the difference between amitosis to other types of cell divisions? If you take in this, there is nowhere I at least used the word spindle formation. There is no spindle fiber formation. That is a very important question. You must need to remember this point. Amitosis, it is characterized by no formation of spindle fibers and no distinct chromosome formation occurs, and nuclear envelope, it remains intact. See, throughout the division, the nuclear membrane, it is there itself. Am I correct or not? It is not disappearing and again it is reappearing. That concept do not exist in amitosis process. Hope you understand. So the cell division which takes place without spindle fiber formation and without the distinct chromosome formation, then that type of division, it is called as amitosis. Hope you understand, students. Where in this amitosis, exactly two equal identical halves formation you can never be able to notice. Approximately, see, I clearly mentioned the daughter cells are approximately divided into two equal halves, but not exactly. If I use exactly, obviously I made a mistake, but I did not do that mistake. I clearly mentioned approximately divided into two equal halves. That means it is not equal division. Hope you understood. That is one more important difference between mitosis to the other types of divisions. And let us take some examples, at least 2 3 examples for your understanding. The examples are yeast cells, which undergoes budding, which is a best example for mitosis. Whereas amoeba, which undergoes multiple fission, is also a type of mitosis. Whereas paramecium, in which the meganucleus, hope you students you remember, while we are discussing about animal kingdom, you must have observed this point. Paramecium, it consisting of two nuclei. First one is micronucleus. In the name itself, it is clearly mentioned micro, that means a small nucleus, and macronucleus, that means macro means big, that means large nucleus. Whereas only the meganucleus, it undergoes mitosis. Hope you understand. Whereas in mammals also, very surprisingly, in mammals also, this mitosis it takes place. But conditions apply, my students. Conditions are applicable in this. In mammals, only the fetal membrane cells such as amnion, chorion, allantois, and yolk sacs, and only these cells they undergoes mitosis. Whereas even in plant cells also, certain cell organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast. Hope you know what is mitochondria, because just earlier lesson of this, the previous lesson of this cell division is cell biology. So in that we clearly discussed what is mitochondria and what is chloroplast. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That means it is the cell organelle which produces energy in form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And chloroplastus, what to speak of chloroplastus, such a very important cell organelle. Because of this only we are getting the food material. Chloroplastus consisting of several photosynthetic pigments which helps in trapping the sunlight, and with the help of that sunlight energy, the plants can be able to prepare their own food material. So that is a very important point of the chloroplastus. Hope you understood. So these are some examples of mitosis. Now the next one, we will discuss about cell cycle. What is cell cycle? See, basically in the name itself, cycle. What is the meaning of cycle? The same things one after one, they start, keep on happening again and again, then that is called as a cycle. That cycle, it is taking place in the cell, so it is called as a cell cycle. That means the sequence of the events. So the sequence of the events by which the cell duplicates and its genome and synthesizes the other cell contents and eventually divides into two daughter cells will be considered as cell cycle. That means if I show this image, definitely you will understand. See, this is a cell. The cell, it is undergoing interphase. Now after interphase, it is going to the M phase. M phase means dividing phase. Now again it is undergoing into the interphase. That means the same things it keep on repeating, and then it is called as a cell cycle. That only I explained. The sequence of events by which the cell duplicates its genome and synthesizes other cell contents and eventually divides into two daughter cells. And this process, this is a cyclic process, it is called as a cell cycle. Hope you understand. Whereas cell cycle, it is completely, absolutely under genetic control. Genes, they decide the process of the cell division. Whereas the duration of the cell cycle, students, here you need to clearly understand cell cycle duration, it always vary from one cell to other cell. That means based on the type of the cell, it depends. Hope you got my point. Whereas at least one example I have to explain, that's why I'm explaining this. Approximately an eukaryotic cell, it divides for every 24 hours, whereas it is roughly estimated that more than 25 million cells undergo division for every second in adult human being. See, every second some leukocytes, that means white blood cells, they are dying, some RBCs are dying, whereas some muscle cells or some other cells, they are dying, and they must be replaced, otherwise we will be deprived of that category of the cells. So in our body, cell division is a continuous process. This is a very important point. Hope you understand what is the definition of cell cycle and how the cell cycle it will be operated. It will be operated completely under the genetic control, and the duration obviously it varies from one cell to another cell. And now we are going to what are the phases of cell cycle. Cell cycle, it is clearly divided into two phases. The first phase, it is called as interphase. Of course, after that again I'm going to explain what is interphase. It is again divided into G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase, and definitely I'm going to discuss what are those phases. But for now, what are main phases of cell cycle? Main phases of cell cycle are interphase, which is simply called as I phase, or long non-dividing phase, or it is also called as interphase. Whereas the next phase, it is called as M phase, which is also called as a short dividing mitotic phase. Hope you understand. So these are the two important phases. Otherwise you can see this diagram and can understand. See, the long phase, which is called as interphase, simply called as I phase, whereas the very short lived phase, which is called as M phase, which is also called as dividing phase. Hope you understand. Whereas one very important thing what you need to understand is, out of this cell cycle, this whole cell cycle, interphase is a phase which takes 95% of duration. 95% of the cell cycle, it will be taken only for interphase. Just 5% of time duration, it is taken by the division. Hope you understand. Otherwise I'll tell you a very simple example. For cooking, for example, you are cooking, you wanted to cook any sabji. For washing that sabji, for cutting that sabji, for cleaning that sabji, it takes a lot of time. But once you prepared all the ingredients, making sabji, it is very easy. Am I correct or not? That means making sabji, it is nothing but dividing phase. But to make the sabji, what all the arrangements you are doing, that takes more time. So this is called interphase. Hope you got my point, students. Just for your understanding, I compared it, so please understand this. Now let us take what is interphase. Interphase means it is a gap, it is a non-dividing gap between two cell divisions, that is called as interphase. Otherwise I'll show you and I'll tell you. So now let us take, this is interphase, है ना? बाद में the cell it is undergoing a division, and after division, see, these two cells are formed, and these two cells immediately they can't be able to participate in the division again. That's why what happens, this cell, which is a newly formed cell, again it enters into interphase, and again after crossing interphase, again it starts division. That means between two divisions there will be one interphase. Hope you understood. I think so. I explained you very clearly. Between two divisions, whatever the phase it is existing, that phase it is called as interphase. That only I am telling you. The non-dividing phase between two cell divisions, it is called as interphase. But earlier it is considered as a resting phase. But of course later it is proved wrong. Why? Because they thought earlier, what they thought, a cell it is not undergoing division, so it is resting phase. But after that it proved wrong. Why? Yes, cell it is not participating in division, but for the division, what all the requirements that are needed by the cell, and all that particular requirements, it will be synthesized in the interphase. Please understand. Yes, I do accept. I 100% accept. Cell is not dividing, so it is resting phase. But it is not exactly taking rest. But then what is happening in this interphase? For the division, what it need to produce, and all that ingredients, it will be synthesized by the interphase. Hope you understand. this interphase में the ingredients required for the division, cell division, it takes place. That's why it is called as a preparatory phase. So now the resting phase is no more existing and it is replaced by the name called a preparatory phase. Students, I think I went very clearly, I explained very clearly, but still if you don't understand, I'm always ready to explain all your doubts. You can message me, I'll definitely answer. Okay. Whereas I clearly mentioned, I need not to again tell you, it is the longest phase of the cell cycle. It approximately takes over 95% of the duration of the complete cell cycle. So obviously it is the longest phase, and it approximately takes, yaad rakh, approximately takes 19 to 22 hours. Whereas, and in this particular phase, interphase में the cell will be extremely highly metabolically active, and all the molecules that are needed for the cell division, it will be synthesized in the interphase. That's why it is called as preparatory phase. Where, very important point, interphase, it is also called as common phase. Students, it's a very important point I'm telling you. It is a common phase for both mitosis and also meiosis. That means if a cell is there, if it wanted to undergo mitosis or if it wanted to undergo meiosis, दोनों cells, if it दोनों divisions के लिए, first of all the cell it has to undergo the common phase. Now, for example, you wanted to enter into the biology group, but if you wanted to enter into your biology classroom, you need to cross the common entrance of our school. Am I correct or not? So when you are entering into the school, everyone has to use the common entrance. Am I correct or not? Once you entered into the common entrance, and then according to your batches, you will go to your batches. Am I correct or not? Like that, any cell, if it wanted to undergo the division, it may be mitosis or the meiosis, it has to enter by the common entrance. That common entrance, it is nothing but interphase. Students, hope you understood. That is the reason why I told this is a very important point. So interphase, it is also called as common phase. Till now I explained interphase, it is also called as simply I phase, and it is called as a resting phase. Of course it is changed now, but still what all the names I used, that only I am telling. And I also called interphase as preparatory phase, as all the requirements that are needed for the cell division, it will be synthesized in this particular I phase, that means interphase. That's why it is called as preparatory phase, and I used the fourth name called as common phase. So these are the four other names of interphase. Hope you understood. Again, this interphase, it is divided into three subphase. Already it is a phase, students, whereas again this phase, it is divided into subphase. Okay, what are they? G1 phase, which is also called as post mitotic gap phase, or very simply it is called as a first growth phase, or it is also called as pre-DNA synthesis phase. Of course, eventually you will understand what is the meaning of these phases. And the second phase, it is called as S phase or synthetic phase, and third phase, it is called as G2 phase or pre-mitotic gap phase, or second growth phase, or second sorry, I already used it. So these are the three phases of, three subphases of the interphase. Now let us take one after one, and we will stop today's lesson with these three phases, and tomorrow I am going to explain mitosis and their phases. Now let us go for the phase number one. What is that? Subphase number one, that is called as G1 phase. What is G1 phase? First of all, G means the first growth or first gap phase. This phase, it approximately takes extends for 6 to 15 hours, and most variable phase, and it may be the longest phase of the interphase. Of course, there is a small correction. That's why I used maybe. That's why I very clearly used maybe. Why? In the mammals, in higher eukaryotes, S phase is the longest phase, whereas except in higher mammals, remaining all the other eukaryotes, this G1 phase is the longest phase. That's why I used it maybe the longest. I did not use the clear word. Whereas during this particular phase, the cell will be highly metabolically active, but DNA do not replicate. Please understand, cell is very active, but this chromatin material, that means the DNA, it is not replicating. And what all the changes that can be seen or the cell it is undergoing during G1 phase, let us see. The events that takes place during G1 phase are, the first one is increase in the size of the cell. The cell, it increases to its fullest, and this nucleolus, it synthesizes RNA. Of course, that RNA includes all the three types of RNA. Hope you know, students, in the previous classes also many times I mentioned what are the three types of RNAs: mRNA, rRNA, and tRNAs. So these are the three types of RNAs. All the three types of RNAs, it will be produced by nucleolus. That is the reason why nucleolus, it is also called as ribosome factory. Hope you remember, in the cell biology only I explained what is a nucleolus. Whereas if any scientist is experimenting on cell division, if he wanted to stop RNA synthesis, then what he will use, he will use actinomyosin, so that he can be able to stop RNA synthesis, and then he can be able to observe what are the changes that takes place in the cell. Of course, this is for experimentation process, not for regular process. So chhod do this point, ignore it. Now, the proteins which are required for the synthesis of enzymes, all the enzymes are proteins, but all the proteins are not enzymes. Hope you remember this point, because in the biomolecules concept I already explained it. All the proteins are not enzymes, but all enzymes are proteins. So the proteins that are required for the synthesis of enzymes that are required for S phase and also M phase. M phase means a dividing phase. Both these phases के लिए what are the enzymes required? For that required proteins, it will be produced by G1 phase. Whereas the cell metabolic rate, it enormously increases. So these are the changes, or these are the various events that are taking place in G1 phase. Students, hope you understood what is G1 phase. G1 phase, it is the first subphase of interphase, and in lower eukaryotic cells, it is the longest phase. Cells are metabolically active, but DNA replication do not takes place. Cells increases in its size. RNA synthesis, it takes place by nucleolus, and protein synthesis, which is required for enzyme preparation, which is required for S phase and M phase, takes place, and cell becomes highly active in terms of metabolism. Hope you understand. So these are the events that takes place in G1 phase. Let us go for another phase. I'm sorry, this is not another phase. It is inclusive of G1 phase only. Now, some cells, after crossing this cell division, that means G1, and then they go to S phase, and then they go to this G2 phase, and then these cells will divide. So by the division, how many cells are formed? Two cells are formed. Now these two cells which are formed, the two new daughter cells which are formed, they immediately do not enter into the cell division again. Now they enters into one phase, it is called as G0 phase. Please try to understand what am I telling. In this particular stage, the cells remains metabolically active, but they do not undergo division. Understood na? That means they are metabolically active, but they do not participate in the cell division, and that phase, it is called as G0 phase. And this G0 phase, it is also called as quiescent phase. Students, again, just for your understanding, again I am telling you little slowly. Once the cell division is completed, the parent cell, it divides into two new daughter cells. इधर तक समझ में है ना? Now this formed two daughter cells, they enters into G1, but they cannot enter into the S phase, and they temporarily become inactive. That temporarily inactive stage of the cell, which is called as G0 or quiescent phase. That means they will be metabolically active, but they do not undergo division. That only I am telling you. Hope you understood now. Now, what happens? these cells which are entered into the temporary inactive stage, which is called as G naught phase, they, whenever they require, then they breaks this particular G naught phase, and again they enter into G1 phase, and again followed by S phase, G2 phase, and then M phase, and they forms into two new daughter cells. That means what happens? When the cell division is required, then only the cell which is entered into G naught phase, they continue the cell division. Otherwise, they do not participate in the cell division. That is the significance of G naught phase. Again, I'll tell you one very small example. Definitely you will understand. Of course, by this time only you must have understood. But if I tell the example, you will understand little more clearly. Now, let us take our skin. Now you must have crossed definitely 17-18 years. That means what happened? You, in your body, the growth, it is almost reached to the peaks. Now you don't grow further. Am I correct or not? Because almost every one of you crossed 17 years. So ideally a human being can be able to exhibit the growth up to 18 years ideally. So after 18 years there is no scope. Now what happens in your body? Almost all the cells, I'm talking about skin cells, almost all the skin cells, they entered into G naught phase. That means when the cell division is not required, that's why the cell division is not required, that's why to stop the further division, they entered into the G naught phase. Now you are walking on the road, by mistake you fell on the road. Now you got some injury on your hand. Now what happens? Because of that injury, some cells got damaged. Now what happened? Now the cells, the skin cells which are in G naught phase, now they become active. Students, you are understanding now? Now, till now they are in which phase? G1, they are present in G naught phase. Because jarur nahi hai, because there is no need of cell division. Now what happened? Division ke liye jarur, that means need happened. That's why what happened? Again all these cells which are in G naught phase, they again entered into G1, and again they continued S phase, again they continued G1, and they start dividing one cell into two, two into three, two into four, four into eight, and again your injury after 5-6 days it completely get healed up. And once the cell division it is done, cell division, that means the injury is completely healed up, the division is not required anymore. That's why again the cell it entered into G naught phase. Students, by this example, hope you understood what is the meaning of G naught phase. So G naught phase means, again a brief little summary I am giving you. When the cell division is not required by the cell, the cell it enters into the temporarily inactive condition. Inactive condition means in terms of division, not in terms of metabolism. They are metabolically active. Inactive means, please understand, inactively in terms of division, but not in terms of metabolism. And they stop the division. Now, whenever the requirement of division happens, again the cells which are present in G naught, they breaks that particular G naught phase, and again they continue the cell cycle. So this is called as G naught or quiescent phase. Now one most important point, very important point I'm telling you, you know what, there are some cells which can never be able to cross G naught. That means once they entered into G naught, that's it, their division capacity is lost. That means that cells never can be able to break that particular G naught phase. And the examples for that cells are heart cells and nerve cells. These two cells, they can be able to divide only in the embryonic stage. Once you cross that particular embryonic stage, they entered into G naught phase, and they enters into such a pathetic conditions, they can never be able to break this particular G naught phase. Very important point, my students, that cells, they can never be able to break this particular G naught phase. And that cells examples are heart cells, that means cardiac cells, and the next cells is nervous cells. Hope you got my point. So this is all about the G naught phase. Now let us take one more phase, that is one more sub phase, that is S phase. S phase basically means synthetic phase. In synthetic phase, replication of DNA takes place. That means the DNA which is required for 46 chromosomes, it is present in the diploid cells. But now this cell, it is undergoing division. When it is undergoing division, what happens, you tell me? it has to produce two daughter cells. Now two daughter cells may, in both of the daughter cells 46 chromosomes must be present na? That means this 46 need to double. Hope you are understanding, students. Hope you are getting my point. So it doubles into 92 chromosomes के लिए कितना genetic material, कितना DNA चाहिए, उतना DNA it will be synthesized in S phase. Students, hope you got my point. But still, again, for my satisfaction, I'm telling you, one cell is there. In one cell, how many chromosomes are there? 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 pairs means 46 chromosomes. So now in this particular, sir, 46 chromosomes में कितना DNA है, उतना DNA is only present. Now this cell, it is undergoing division. After division, this cell, it produces two daughter cells, and when it is producing two daughter cells, it has to contribute or distribute its contents equally to both of the daughter cells. That means daughter cell number 1 also should get 46 chromosomes, and daughter cell 2 also should get 46 chromosomes. Am I correct or not? That means when the mother nucleus, if it doubles its DNA, then only it is possible. Am I correct or not? That means the DNA content which is required for 46 chromosomes, when it is getting doubled to 92 chromosomes DNA, then only it is possible to distribute the DNA content to two daughter cells. Am I correct or not? So the doubling of the chromosome, doubling of DNA, it takes place in the S phase. Doubling of DNA, but not chromosome number never increases. The chromosome number increasing के लिए it need dividing phase. That means M phase में chromosome doubling takes place. Here only DNA doubling takes place, but not chromosome doubling. Hope you understood. Whereas protein molecules such as histone proteins basically means these are the proteins which are meant for coiling of DNA. DNA, if it is scattered, problem kya hai na, it completely occupies the cell. Now, if it completely occupies the cell, where the cell organelles will be present? That's why the DNA must be present inside the nucleus only. It should not cross the nucleus, because it may obfuscate other cell organelles. That's why there will be a protein called as histone protein which coils that particular DNA. Am I correct or not? So for the coiling of the DNA, there will be special proteins called as histone proteins that will be synthesized in the S phase. But students, in your 12th class, molecular basis of inheritance, in that I am going to explain about histone proteins very detailed way. So detailed way I'll explain. But for now, DNA coiling, that's it. You remember. Rest of the things I will definitely explain later. And centrosomes, that means centrioles also replicate. But students, please understand, centrioles are the characteristic of, presence of centrioles is a characteristic feature of only animals, but not in plants. In plants, centrioles are absent. That centrioles are also dividing in animal cells. So S phase mein the first change is that DNA synthesis takes place. DNA doubling it takes place, but not chromosome doubling. And protein molecules such as histone proteins, which are required for the coiling of the DNA, they synthesizes. And centrioles, they get replicates. But this point, that means last point, centrioles, it is a characteristic of only the animal cells. In plant cells, centrioles are absent. Now, today's last topic is the last subphase of the I phase, that means interphase, that is G2 phase. In G2 phase, the tubulin protein. What is the meaning of tubulin protein? Tubulin protein is a protein which helps in the formation of spindle fibers, and this spindle fibers, it helps in the pulling of the chromosomes during the division. Hope you understood. And of course, don't worry, just now you remember what is tubulin protein and spindle fiber. Very clearly, very detailedly I'm going to explain in the division phase, that means M phase. So you don't worry about it. So tubulin protein, which is required for the spindle fiber formation, it takes place in G2 phase, and the synthesis of RNA, it will be continued. That means RNA synthesis is started in G1 phase and it even continues in G2 phase also, and new cell organelles it will be synthesized. And for all the cell division, energy is required na? Such energy sources in form of ATP, they will be synthesized in G2 phase. So let's take a brief summary of G2 phase. One, tubulin protein which is required for spindle fiber formation will be synthesized. Point number two, synthesis of proteins and RNA it will be continued, and cell organelles it will be doubled. I'm really sorry. Cell organelles it will be synthesized, and energy in form of ATP it will be synthesized. So these are the four changes that takes place in G2 phase. And students, and tomorrow we are going to explain about M phase. Before that, some changes or some control over the interface also I'm going to explain. Hope you understood today's class. If you don't understand any single point, even single word also, you please message me, I will definitely explain. And you can even make video call also, because some students they need a practical explanation, so you can make video call also. But before you make, if you wanted to make video call, you tell me, sir, I am going to make video call, you explain me live, then I'll explain. Otherwise, before, without giving me proper message, don't make any video calls, I can't be able to respond to you. So hope you understood, students, and I will come up with next topic tomorrow. Thank you so much.